Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet, ExpressRoofing.net, Cumberland Valley, National Bank, CSEP, State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble Agent, Luxury Pet Services, Equipment, Sales and Rentals, May Marketing, KYmedia.net, Real Life Community Church, Time Warner Cable, and Madison County Schools.
Welcome to the Coach Kevin Kling Show.
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. We want you to watch the head coach John Clark Show of Madison Southern Eagles.
If you want to learn about these guys, tune in to Madison County School Sports Television. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Coach John Clark Show. And like Coach said, we're going to talk to Coach Kling because it's his show tonight, right?
I guess. I appreciate you guys bringing me.
Oh, yeah. A lot of fun. You guys just came right off the field, didn't you?
Yes.
Practice. So you guys got a big game this weekend, second game this weekend in your district.
Yes. Woodford County this week.
That's right. So it should be a good game.
Yes, it should. They've got a lot of athletes out there on the field, and they do some things to get their athletes in space, and they make it tough to defend by having their athletes out there in space. So.
Well, let's go back and talk about last week's game because, wow, that was a really fun game. You guys seem to have your offense and your defense clicking. So you guys played Montgomery County at home, 49-7.
Big win.
Big win. So, of course, you're here because we obviously got to talk about this super strong defense.
Well, and they've played well pretty much all year. We've had 5 defensive touchdowns this year.
How awesome is that when your defense is scoring? So you scored twice this game.
That's incredible. Yeah, we scored twice. We had
a fumble and an interception.
Recovery and an interception return for touchdown. So big time.
That is big time.
Big time.
That makes a fan like me really excited when
it makes a coach like me really excited too.
Absolutely. Makes your job a little easier now.
Yes,
you got to be super proud of these guys.
Oh yeah, they have worked hard all through the off season. And then spring we started really putting in what we were looking at running this as our base this season, and they've bought right into it, and it's been incredible.
The last 2 years when we'd interview Coach, he always says, we had a young team, new team that's kind of growing, and they're all learning each other. What do you think about this year's team?
On defense, we're finally more experienced. We've got 5 seniors playing and 6 juniors playing, and then we rotate sophomores and a couple other juniors. We've been playing anywhere up to 24 guys on defense.
How about that?
So it's pretty nice to be able to have that kind of depth. We haven't had that since we've been here.
You got a lot of guys that play both sides too.
Yes, and that allows us to rotate bodies, and we can spell guys after 3 plays and we don't lose anything.
Right.
And that's huge. That is huge on defense.
So I know you two are both numbers guys. I got the numbers written down right here for defense, but you guys are the numbers guys. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the interception. Or which one happened first? The fumble.
It was the fumble recovery. Yeah. Yes.
Let's talk about that.
David Williams made a heck of a play coming across, and he put his face right on the ball like we teach it, and the ball shot out. And then a couple guys dove on it trying to recover it, and it squirted back out.
Yeah.
And then in practice for the last 6 weeks, we've been working a scoop and score drill, which has shot us in the foot a couple of times, but this one actually worked.
This one went by the books.
Yes, it did. They scooped it and scored it.
And that's like the most fun drill in practice because we throw the ball hard into the ground by the end zone, and we make them scoop it up, and the whole team has to do it, the linemen and everybody.
Yeah.
And we make them score, and the last guy the group has to celebrate with the group.
Yeah.
So it was awesome to see that.
Yes.
We were all scoop and score drill, as he's running down the field. We were so excited.
You're like, this is not a drill.
Yeah. No, it's neat. It's neat for the kids to see the drills that we do in practice pay off in a game.
Come to fruition.
Yes.
Yeah,
it makes that drill mean something.
Exactly, this is what we've been teaching them this whole time.
Yeah. It makes us look like good coaches when it happens, and it means we haven't been practicing something for 6 weeks that doesn't
and it
matter.
never happens. And you're like, why have we been practicing? And the kids are probably thinking that too. Why did we ever practice?
I think they like that drill.
Yeah, they love that
drill. They do love that drill.
That's a fun drill.
Yeah.
How many of them get to touch the ball and try it? All of defense?
The whole team.
Everybody.
The whole team.
All do it, offense and defense.
Yeah, we do ball security circuits. The whole team does it.
Okay.
There's nothing. You could have. Well, we had a scoop on offense. The ball got loose and Noah scooped it and almost ran it for a first down.
Yeah.
So,
So it happens.
I mean, it happens on both sides.
I mean, you know
of the
it
ball.
happens, yeah. On both sides. That's pretty cool. So then let's talk about the interception. That's really cool too.
Yes, that was a product of a young man Evan Campbell being in where he was supposed to be, doing what he was coached to do, and then he reacted, and it was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it was how you drew it up.
So
And
how
the
crazy
speed
is it that
took
they
over.
scored off both of them? I mean,
Well,
right?
when you got guys that are alert, and we work this when we pick a ball, the guys in practice work the drill of finding blocks and finding work, and they found work and freed him up, and he was gone.
Sean Goodlow threw a great
Oh,
block
yeah.
downfield for Evan that sprung Evan free.
Yeah.
And
David
huge
Williams
block.
threw a big
Yeah.
block. There was 2 or 3 big blocks.
Yeah.
Right. So this Alex Harvey that played for Montgomery County, obviously he's known as their star. So what did you guys do this time to try to stop him? Because I think he only got, I didn't even write it down. It wasn't worthy of me even writing it down. You guys stopped him.
I think he got about 60 yards rushing. I
He's
mean,
a load.
he's
He's
a
a big
load.
boy.
And when you watch it on film, I mean, he's the guy that, the kids saw it. He's the guy they give the ball to.
Right.
So if they got one guy they're going to give the ball to, you've got to scheme your defense, and the kids have got to be aware that that's the guy you taking away.
Yeah.
So
So
we keyed him with our linebackers. We knew when he was in the backfield he was going to get the ball.
Yeah.
And we knew that they ran to basically one side of the line every time.
can you guys tell? I know you can. This is a crazy question, but me as a girl and me as a person that loves to watch the game, you know when certain, like let's switch it up, another team, let's say they go after somebody that you give the ball to continuously, which typically you guys don't because you switch it up. But let's just say you
Well,
had
we-
a superstar and you had got,
We do a thing called self-scout.
okay,
For example, like Coach Kling spends the weekend with his staff evaluating their defense or their offense. He finds all the intricacies, all the tendencies of what they play call and how they run it. So I spend the weekend doing that for our offense.
right, okay,
So I look at our offense. I look over the last couple games in the season. Like today, I was talking to Coach Skinner, who our offensive coordinator is.
yes,
I was telling him what down in distance we have a run-pass tendency, and we try to keep those balanced. So if we tend to be heavy run, say on 3rd and short we're heavy run.
yes,
Well, we know that coming in, a lot of defenses are going to evaluate that. So we're going to throw on 3rd and short that week once or twice to really
and that's
change
just
that
all part of the scouting.
tendency.
And
Yeah, you got to know
So
what
it's not
you're
a
doing.
crazy question.
No,
It's-
that's a legit question.
defensively, we break down formations and get percentages and look at numbers and
Yeah.
crunch numbers of who's getting the ball and what formations, and then you can
Yeah,
gear your calls towards those tendencies.
I mean, he'll walk in with a packet for the boys. He gives them a scouting report, typically on Tuesdays, and sometimes on Mondays, mostly on Tuesdays. He gives them a defensive scouting report of all their top runs, their top formations, and he finds tendencies in these teams where he'll say, every time number 11 is lined up in the slot, they throw to him 18 out of 18 times.
Yeah.
So he finds these tendencies, and we teach those, and the boys memorize them throughout the week, which allows them, the minute that lines up, they see 11 in the slot, they sit there and go, ball's coming here, they can play faster.
yeah,
Yep.
So there's certain, now you can't, the reason I think he does an amazing job, there's a lot of things. One of the things I think a lot of coaches do is they take too much information and you can't
Overload
get the
them.
kids to know it all. He does an outstanding job of knowing what's most important to get them to learn, so we play fast and stop what we need to stop on Friday night. He does
because
a
they're
great
making
job
split
of that.
second decisions between
Yeah.
these plays. It is
You got to
crazy.
be reactive on defense. It's all about how fast you can react. Offense, you got a chance to process what's going on in front of you, and then be ready to go when the ball's
Right,
snapped. But
right.
you're waiting for that ball to be snapped, and you got to react right now.
Yeah.
So anything that we can give our boys to make the reaction quicker is going to allow us to play better
Right.
on Fridays.
So tell me this, what do you guys decide as in coaches' meetings each week? How do you decide who the starters are, who's going to be this person, our go-to person each week? Based on their practice, based on their past performances, how do you guys decide that?
Defensively, we evaluate, like you said, past performance and practice. We've got guys fighting for positions on a weekly basis.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, and
And I'm sure it's based on grades, test
Well,
scores
and-
at school too, right?
Well, and the grades obviously are going to factor in. I mean, you don't want to put a kid out there. One, he's not going to be eligible if his grades aren't where he's supposed to
Okay.
be. And two, why am I going to put a guy out there that can't show responsibility in the classroom and then expect him to show the responsibility in studying what he needs
On
to
the
be able
field.
to do on the field.
Right.
So
Makes sense. And I'm sure a lot of parents, they want their kids to play, but when you look at it this way, because you don't typically think of it that way as a parent, you're like, I want my kid to play. He loves football.
and the nice part about it is we film practice. So if a kid wants to know why they're not starting, you can go through the film and show it to them, and they can watch it and they can see how they're playing compared to the guy they're competing with. So it makes it real easy to have all the stuff on the table when you go to evaluate a kid. You can go, here's what I see, and this is why you're going to be rotating this week and not starting.
Yeah.
And our kids, because of that, they should have a really good idea of why they are or are not playing. For example, if one of them's not playing and they're not sure, it's easy to go to them and say, go chart every play of practice the other day and look at your read steps or look at your drops. Chart what percentage of them are right versus wrong.
Right.
That's what we do when we watch it, and we have them we teach them what they need to work on based off that. We film everything.
So what do you guys decide each week as your word of the week? What was the word this week?
Honor. This week is honor.
Okay.
I laid all these out at the beginning of the season. So this week is honor. The kids have defined it as being honorable versus having honor. They're two very different things but it really comes down to respect for oneself, respect for a family name, respect for a team, just wanting to carry yourself in a manner that is of respect, that people will see and respect and look up to.
And honor
To
that.
be honorable or to honor something is to be respectful towards something, or to be honorable is to act in a way that others will see respectful.
I think it's fantastic that you guys do that.
So,
Do you ever find yourself recycling the words?
well, I mean, if you look at all the virtues that exist in the world, I mean, there's good virtues and bad virtues. We don't focus on the bad virtues; we focus on the good ones. But sometimes we talk about what's the opposite. But sometimes we recycle them just based on what the team needs.
Right.
Because you may give it to a kid when he's a sophomore, and when they're sophomores, they're 15 years old, and then when they're 17-year-old seniors and 18 and they know everything, they might need to hear it again, just probably like most of our households are.
Yes.
So they need to hear what it means to be respectful. There's some respect, love. I'm just trying to think what else. There's some we use every year.
Yeah,
Commitment, courage. I mean, there's some that we will use every year.
Yeah.
And it fits.
And
Always.
it fits.
Always.
And with kids' life outside of school, outside of the team.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to bring those words back because their situations maybe at home have changed.
Right.
So it's always good to bring those things back when things so kids can reflect on those things and react to things that are going on outside of school and outside of the team in a way that that a young man should react to.
Well,
Right.
we've changed.
Yeah.
I mean, as men and coaches too, we're not the
Growing.
same as we were 4 years ago. So the word commitment, the word courage, the word love have different meanings for us as we grow and learn too. So the kids are still going to grow and learn from them as well.
I think that's fantastic. I love this idea. Now, you being the defensive coordinator, knowing that the defense is playing fantastic this year, you guys are the talk of the town. You're the talk of the town.
Well.
Yeah, we'll let him be the talk of the town. So, do you have parents come up to you that say, "Listen, good job, coach. This defense is fantastic this year," or emails,
not so much emails. Parents will catch you when you're coming in off the field and stuff. But
Yeah.
I've always taken the policy of bouncing it back to the kids. We get them ready, but the kids have got to perform. The kids are the ones doing the studying. The kids are the ones out there playing. So, in essence, I want them to have the glory should be on them. I'll pass that off on them. If the kids don't go perform, again, then I'm gonna put that on me because obviously I haven't done something to get them ready for what they're seeing.
Right.
So I always try to put the positive on the kids. And if there's anything negative, I'm going to try to absorb that so the kids don't have to absorb that.
What have you learned this season compared to your past seasons as far as you've seen these men, like we talked earlier, maturing, growing, they're getting more experience, they're now juniors and seniors. What do you find different about them?
Well, the discipline that we have, because that's one of the things that I'm really big on is the discipline. Because defensively, it's you're one unit. There's not one guy is going to make every play over there.
Right.
And I think at times we've had the idea that, You know, some of these kids have had the idea that, well, we've got this one guy, he can make all these plays and he'll make us right. But they've taken on this role of we've each got to perform our duty and we got to do our part. And you can see it in the statistics of the kids. The tackles are spread all the way across the board. So the kids are obviously doing their part. You know, even the superstars, you know, Carter Smith last year had 160 tackles. This year he's got 70. He still leads the team, but you don't have 160 to 90.
Right.
You've got a 70 and then 66 and then a 50.
You've got more.
Yeah, it's spread across the board.
Across.
Yeah.
Well, and your D-line's better.
Oh, our D-line's
So they're taking
immensely
tackles away from our linebackers. So you got a kid like Nate Eads. We've talked about this. Like Nate Eads had almost 100 tackles last
Yeah,
year.
he had 98 last
And
year.
he may have.
Yeah, he had the record, didn't he? Or something
No,
like that?
but he had a lot for a safety.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, true.
this year, he's nowhere near that. It's not because Nate's playing bad.
Right.
It's because
It's a
our
different
D-line and our
season.
linebackers
Yeah.
are better, and they're cleaning up all the tackles, so not as
He's
much
not getting
stuff
the
gets to third
opportunity.
level. But we don't
But
have
it should be that way.
But we don't have a bunch of guys griping and complaining and saying, well, what about me? They're all saying our defense is good.
Yeah.
They don't care. They get it.
Yeah.
And that's important. For,
And that's-
for team,
that's-
that's important.
That's what that's one of the things that I'm really, really big about. I refuse to, you know, let the kids, you know, come out of this, you know, have this, you know, it's a me mentality. I'm going to get mine. That's not going to happen. You know, you have a role to play and you're going to play your role. And they understand that and they accept that. And that says a lot about the kids because it's easy in our society today to have, it's a me society now. It's what's in it for me. When am I going to get mine? And to have kids over there that are willing to say, I'm going to sacrifice. You know, you look at the Gary County game. Our defensive line bear crawled the whole game. I mean, they weren't going to get a tackle,
And they knew
but
that
they
going in.
but they were willing to sacrifice that for the good of the team. And how much does that say about those young men when you look at our society today and how little sometimes we see people sacrifice for the brother or their sister.
Right. That is true.
Yeah.
Do you have a game this season so far that you're like, okay, this is how we need to play? Would it be this last game? Do you feel like it's clicking more so every single game, progressing?
I feel like we got out of our rut this game. I think we got in a little bit of a rut after Bourbon County. Bourbon County we played really well. But then they exposed a couple of weaknesses that we had, and we had to go back and fix some things. But, you know, when you hold a team to 12 yards rushing and 21 carries, and, you know, that's playing pretty well.
Yes.
But Western Hills, we played well. I would say our staple game, the game that I'm the most proud of is not the best thing. I was most proud of the Garrett County game.
Really?
I thought as a unit, that group played about as well against that offense as anybody can play. You know, Lincoln County ended up using what we did with our kids for their game plan at times against Gary County.
You know, and being in a different role here, one that he won't tell you because we lost, I thought our defense played very well against Pulaski. I mean, how many teams have held them?
Right.
It wasn't 28 points. They had a kickoff return for a touchdown. We held them to 21, and offense gave up bad field position a couple times. We weren't moving the ball well on O. We weren't giving them good field position. You take away a fake punt and a kickoff return. I mean, our defense held them to 7 points in the second half.
Yeah.
They've been a second half team. They scored 60 points last week. So to hold them to 21 defensively, I was really proud of the way our defense played against them. I thought we did some pretty good things.
Would you say that the lowest point was the Tates Creek game defensively?
I thought we struggled there defensively. That was one where we didn't play like ourselves.
Yeah.
We weren't us.
And you know, the kids understood that too.
I think it was the weather, the rain, the intimidation,
all
playing
of it.
in
It's all
2
of
days.
it. All of it. It was the perfect storm.
Coming off of all those wins,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things.
Yeah. So you can't nail it down to just one thing. It
Right.
was just a collective.
Combination.
It was a collective thing, and they're kids still. I mean, they're high school kids. Not every week's going to look the same, and that's the challenge of coaching is trying to find a way to get high school kids
Yeah.
We're not that
to
good
be
yet.
consistent.
We're not that good.
And
I
very
think
few
if you
teams
can-
are good enough to
Yeah,
get
that's
kids to be
tough to do.
consistent.
Yeah, I think if you can figure that out,
We're going to
Good
sell
luck.
it.
I mean,
yeah, you're gonna
We're
wrap it
gonna
up and
bottle
sell
it and
that
sell
in
it
a
is
nice
what we're
little
gonna do.
bottle.
it brings up a good point. Like, ask parents in our audience how many of you can keep your child consistent from August 1st to Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah.
Week in and week out, consistent.
Yes.
I mean, think of the emotional roller coasters that happen when school starts back in your household in that time frame with teenagers.
Yes.
I mean, it's tough to do.
Yeah.
It's tough to do.
Some have girlfriends. They break up with girlfriends. They get new girlfriends, and then the schoolwork, and then the
Then they start
Yeah.
driving.
yeah. Oh
Then
yes,
everything
driving.
changes.
Everything changes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's one thing after another, so it's a constant battle.
Family. I mean, I lost all my grandparents when I was in high school. You start, grandparents get
Yes.
a certain age, you start losing loved ones. Accidents take place. I mean, you're talking about 80 kids. A lot goes on in that time frame. Sick.
And you wouldn't think of football. You want the football season to extend and go as long as you can, but you don't think of it being that long.
It's almost
but
4 months
Yeah,
if you really think about
And if
it.
you think about all the practicing over the summer,
Which
it's
makes
even
it
longer.
a half a year process.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
right.
in the locker room with each other and their coaches almost every day.
Yeah.
5 days a week for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bring up the locker room. Let's talk about that. How nice. How proud are you of that?
It is that is you walk in there and it's you see the fruit of all the kids' labor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what that is. That and that new weight room is the fruit of all the kids' labor. Every
Yes.
kid that's come before, every kid that's in here now, that is the fruit of their labor. Their work has allowed that to happen.
Did you have a lot come back for homecoming that was really excited to see?
Yeah, but we have a lot of
the
guys come back
changes?
from most
Yeah.
games, to be
Most
honest.
games.
Yeah, we have
really
a lot
do.
of guys.
How incredible is that?
There's a
It's-
couple handfuls every game that
Do they sit in the stands? Do they come down on the
we
field
let them
and
come
say
on the
hi?
sideline.
Or-
They know not to stay in the way, but as
Right.
far as we're concerned, I mean, I don't want them in the locker room after the game or something. These guys need to celebrate their wins like they had theirs.
Yeah.
But I'm okay for them peeking their heads in, saying hello to the guys. I think that's good for our guys to see
Yes.
them. They know their faces. They know their
The
names.
tradition.
They're on the sideline. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a good. I love it because
Yeah.
they want to be there still, and
It's like a second home,
Yeah,
the
and
program's where it is, not because of us.
but because of them.
Them. All we did was ask them how far do you want to go and what are you willing to do to get there, and laid out a plan. They did the work. This is their program, so that's neat to me that they do come back.
yeah, and it's I came from a high school program where tradition was big. I mean, it was a big time tradition program, tradition rich, and to see this program starting to get some of that and those roots and those seeds being sown, it's awesome to see kids that you coached 4 years ago, 5 years ago, come back and talk about how much they want to be there, how much they want to put the helmet back on, how much.
Some are starting to coach themselves down
Yeah.
here now.
So
Isn't
we're
that
getting
crazy?
That's
Very
awesome.
neat.
Yeah, that makes you proud, doesn't it?
Oh,
pretty neat.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes you old too, but
Don't even talk about that.
All right, we won't go there. But I won't ask your age if you don't ask mine.
Well, I will.
But I have to say, you guys have the best fans.
Oh yeah.
The best.
Oh yeah.
They got cowbells ringing. They've got, and it's packed. We go to a lot of different games, different stadiums, but you guys, they got it going on.
our fans do not want to miss the next home game against Central.
That is the next home game, isn't
Place
it?
is gonna
Because
be
your next
electric.
game is on the
I know
road.
our pep club is doing some very unique things. It's going to be awesome, October 28th. I mean, it's the biggest rivalry game anyway. So, I mean,
A fun and
if you live
clean
in
rivalry.
If you live in Madison County and you're not there, I don't know where you'd be.
And we've talked about that in your
Yeah.
other shows about how this is a nice, clean rivalry.
Yeah.
You guys get
But-
along as coaches, and
Yeah,
it's nice for the programs.
Our pep club's doing some pretty cool stuff.
That's
I haven't
exciting.
talked to all these guys. I'm not going to tell them. I'll just let them wait.
You won't tell all the secrets to
No,
all
it's-
your viewers,
It's pretty
But,
neat.
and I'm totally
all of his fans.
I'm totally different than him though. You're a guy that gets out there and absorbs the whole
I love it.
atmosphere.
I love it.
I'm one that I get into a zone and I just kind of lock in and try to wash everything out.
You do.
That's who I am. That's how I
Prior to the
operate.
game, or just
I'll go out before the game and I'll sit usually on the sideline. I'll walk around the field and
With headphones on.
with the headphones in, and I just kind of get locked in. But I coach better that way. If I let everything else affect me, I get distracted. So-
See me, I walk out there, I take the headphones out, I close my eyes, I smell the popcorn in the grill, I hear the fans, I like that sound of the cowbells, and I love it. I love it. So we're very, and I feed off
how
of
you
that.
different.
Yeah.
You're very different.
Now I don't hear like individual stuff often, but this year, this is ironic, our student section's been awesome. up until this year, I've never heard our student section. I hear them when they chant players' names this year.
Really? So
Like,
typically you didn't hear that?
No, but they've started chanting players' names. I heard it at Garrett County, and that's when I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then now, ever since then,
I don't even hear this.
I'll have my headset on, and I will hear them chanting somebody's name in the middle of the game. It's the coolest thing. I love it. I think it's awesome.
I don't even hear it. I don't hear it at all.
All right, so question for you. Do you ever watch his other shows that we do?
Oh yeah.
You do? You watch
Oh,
them?
really?
Yeah, I do.
You watch these shows?
I watch the show.
No, you don't.
Yes,
See,
I
we
do.
were asking before you get here. Wonder how many viewers you
There's
have
one of our
on your
viewers.
show. That's one of your viewers.
This is one.
He has a lot of viewers, I will tell you this, because we get people say to us when we're out in the field, or even if I'm just at the grocery store somewhere, hey, ask Coach this. You know.
Yeah.
You
And
never
I'm
asked
like,
me any
okay.
of those things.
Well, I don't tell you that I'm asking you. I typically go by my notes, but I sometimes get to it in a roundabout. Sometimes
Do
you
you guys
don't
ever-
want me to ask
Do
what
you guys
they
ever
really
get
want
complaints
to know.
about calls and stuff? Do you guys ever get that?
No, we typically don't get that.
Okay, that's what I usually get. I get
So
that.
we're fortunate
Yeah, I get
that I
that
don't
part.
get the emails or those kind of calls.
Well, I didn't know you watched. I'm gonna watch your show.
Oh, great.
I'm gonna watch yours.
Appreciate that.
He's
Yeah,
waiting
much.
for you to retire so he can take over. See, he's learning from the best right there.
I'll retire before he does. I can
Really?
guarantee you. Oh yeah, I'm older than he is.
I don't mean anything.
Well, I've been doing this longer than
Yeah,
you
you
have.
haven't done this.
I would guess when you guys all go, you might all go out together. Boy, they would hate that at the office, wouldn't they?
I don't even think about it, to be honest.
It's never crossed our minds. We just.
You're not ready that far.
I enjoy it too much to even think about it. I just know
See, and
how
that's
long I've
why
been
you're
doing
so good at it, because you're doing this job that you love.
It never feels like work to us.
No.
Yeah.
We talk a lot. We're close friends, and our whole staff is. But I think all of us really feel like, anything you have at some point feels like a job at times. There's
Yes.
times where you have to go do something you don't want to do, but for the most part, we all feel like we're in what these kids are building. Like we're in it. So I know for my sake, and a lot of us feel this way. I think too. We've talked about it on separate occasions. Is you just feel like you couldn't walk away from it because it's not done yet.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
there's still a lot left to be done, and there's been too much has gone into it to not.
Yes.
And we're not done. There's a big picture.
I got a
It's
good
gonna take you
question.
time.
Do you ever feel like you're like, didn't I just teach them that? And then you go, no, that was last year's team. Like a discussion, like with a student or an athlete, and you go, man, they should know this. But then you're like, no, I taught that last year.
Well, we say they
So
should
you
know
redo
this.
it. You have to reteach them every year.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's typically every practice we do that. We're like, we
Yeah.
just taught that yesterday.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
practice.
it's
It's
not
not
every
every year.
It's a
every
daily. It's a daily occurrence.
We have a word for it. We call it delayed obedience.
Okay.
So, for example, we talked about this in the first meeting of the year, is if a kid's not doing it right, there's two types of kids. There's either the one that isn't going to do it right because they refuse to listen and they're not coachable. If that's not the kid, then it's what's called delayed obedience. They want to do it right. They just don't have, it's like riding a bike. You
Right.
can't ride a bike right the
They
first
gotta-
time. The
It's
muscle
gonna get
memory,
to them later.
there's a learning process that has to take place. They want to be obedient.
Right.
It's just delayed. So we have to outlast them to get it to stick.
To stay with them.
And so we tend to tell ourselves that we're not bad coaches. It's delayed obedience.
Well, they say in any type of project, it takes a person 8 times before something sinks in. Even with marketing and with media, like you realize that those Clydesdales are with a different brewing company that's Bud Light and not Miller Lite. You know what I'm saying? It takes you 8 times to watch that commercial before you realize that.
They said,
Instead, I used
I
a
have
beer
no
analogy.
idea what you just talked about.
That was over my
She
head.
lost.
Lord. Just think about this. It's going to take them 8 times for you to
How
teach
about
them
those Packers?
something. Right, you didn't even get it when I used the beer analogy? See, I threw it to you with the beer.
When she said Clydesdale, I thought she meant horses.
Yeah.
It is horses.
That's all I knew, though.
It is horses. You know Budweiser is the Clydesdales, right? So it takes someone 8 times to
Yes.
realize
Yeah.
that that's a Budweiser.
And there's a lot of research out there on that stuff. For example, to change a program, you have to change a culture.
Yes.
And every research I've ever done, I've done a lot of it, is it's a minimum of 10 years to change culture. And then if you want to change behavior, they say you have to do something for an average of 21 to 25 days to truly change
Yes.
a behavior of something.
Yes,
Consistent.
that's kind of what I'm talking about too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have? You've got a lot of former players that are playing in other collegiate places, so whether it be in Kentucky or other places. Do you ever try to follow them? I know you guys are really busy on Saturdays and Sundays. So
when you get a chance, I've got 2 little ones that both play. Both boys are playing football.
Yeah.
So
And wrestling.
guitar,
and
guitar and everything.
He's
else.
got a busy crew.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're constantly doing something.
yes.
So
So how do you stay and follow them, whether they're at Pikeville or Cumberland's or wherever?
that's one of the actual benefits of having the phone. You know,
Yeah.
you can shoot them a message and find out. You can call them and see.
Yeah.
There's one young man that I'm following because he went to my alma mater, Wabash College. Hutch Howard is up there, and so I constantly check in with him.
Yeah.
And see how he's doing, and work him through that because it's a not only athletically but academically it's a very challenging school, and so trying to keep up with him and encourage him through it. He's doing great. He loves it up there, but just keeping that constant contact with him, letting him know that you're thinking about him. I mean, that'll push a kid another week.
Right.
If they know somebody's thinking about them, that'll push them. That'll get them through
and
the
say,
dark
I got to do really well this week because he's going to text me back and go, how'd you do?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
And we don't get to go to a lot of. I actually this past Saturday went and watched Spencer Stone play. He's at Center College. Went and watched him play Millsap. He started at defensive tackle. He played the whole game. Played outstanding. And it was funny because I've gone to see him play twice before that, and he's either been injured or sick. So this was the first game I've really watched him play since he played in high school. And I sat there and I thought about it. I was like, it was fun to watch him play again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's neat.
Speaking of injuries, how is the team?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got nicks and bruises
You're
as the year goes on.
you're in week 9 now, so
It's bound to happen,
We're trying
right?
to be smart in
But I don't
practice.
think you have any. There is no wood around here, knocking on wood. You don't have any major ACLs or anything like that. that's got you out.
We've lost Nathan Pruitt.
Right.
We lost him in the Pulaski game, our right tackle.
Oh yes,
Right, and
but
there's
that wasn't
still-
an ACL, was it?
No, and there's still some question on whether or not we may get him back.
Okay,
So it's,
okay.
it's not
See,
it's not a
I
done deal, but it's
remembered.
not out of the ballpark. So
Right.
Yeah.
and that would be a huge get for our team.
Right.
To get him back. He's a great player for us on both sides of the ball. Other than that, though, knock on wood, we're staying relatively healthy.
other than just a few.
It's marble.
dings,
It's
we're
not
good.
helping.
Yeah.
So
We'll knock on anything because tis the time that it's got to be coming together.
The
Is
legs-
it wood underway
the-
under
the-
there?
The legs are wood.
Yeah, there we go. Because, you got to have them healthy. I know we talked about earlier in the season there was a lot of sickness going around.
Oh, yeah.
So trying to
It
get.
hits us every year.
yeah, I don't
Every year.
every year about the same time.
And
then
it could start with allergies. I mean, it could.
it's anything.
Everybody's touching everything.
That's probably the biggest thing is you got everybody spreading everything.
Nobody
around
washes
the
themselves because they're high schoolers. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you keep the weight room and all that clean? Do you have. You guys do it? You got somebody doing it? You spraying
We do
it?
constantly.
This guy right here.
This is my
That's his baby.
perks of being a high school head coach. Every weekend, our kids clean out their lockers. They leave them open. They leave their pads flipped upside down. I Virex the entire locker room, sanitize it every single weekend.
Yeah.
And the weight room, we do the same thing. And we've got hand sanitizer all
Yeah.
over the weight room. I mean, I go through their lockers on the weekend. If I see anybody with any toothbrushes or anything, I make them get rid of them. We make them switch their mouthpieces out periodically throughout the season.
You do?
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
we
yeah.
do. We couldn't possibly do anything else.
Yeah.
Right.
If a kid's sick, we make them use a separate water bottle. There's periods when they're really sick, we don't use our water bottles and they have to bring their own. I mean, we do anything.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the pads we hit in practice, we sanitize them every weekend.
Yes.
We do it constantly, sometimes 2-3 times a week if everybody's sick.
Well, there is nothing in me that would use that main water
it's-
container that
the
you guys
hardest
have down
part-
there. I would never. I'd be like, Coach, sorry, I got to go get my own water bottle.
I don't either, actually. The hardest part, and I know it's all clean, the hardest part probably of my job is keeping up with keeping everything sanitized. And our janitor crew is amazing. They
Yeah.
Yes.
they do our bathrooms daily, and our kids do a really good job of taking care of our bathrooms. We have rules and procedures in there. If a toilet's not flush, we run the whole team, and we check them
Absolutely.
all the time. If there's toilet paper on the floor, like we have the cleanest restrooms in the entire school in our locker room.
Yeah.
As long as we've been doing this, we have never
We've
talked
never
about
discussed
that
this.
on your
It's
show.
actually like a huge deal with our team. Like,
Yeah, the
like
kids-
they know if a toilet's not flushed,
You make them run.
like they'll check the toilets. Like they have to put the seat down, they have to flush them.
Why? Because there's no girls coming in there.
Yeah, but who doesn't live with a mom or somebody? We've all
Okay,
done
so you're
that.
teaching
all-
them
it's
that
all about
so that
being a
when they
gentleman.
get
It's a gentleman.
It's a
home.
courtesy thing, absolutely.
Okay, I'm really
You know?
excited
I
that
mean, we
you
get
did that.
these guys. They come out of middle school. They pee on the seats and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they're not taught bathroom etiquette.
Yeah.
So we have.
So you have to
strict-
teach that.
We actually have
Yeah.
strict policies. Ask our freshmen about our locker room policies.
They know them.
Oh, they know them.
They've
because
learned-
They screw
they've
'em up
learned
every
'em.
year.
Do you teach it day one? This
And
is
then-
what
and
this
then
bathroom's
we
going to stay
randomly
looking
check
like.
their locker room periodically at random times, and if there's clothes on the floor, we run them to death.
Yep.
Their parents probably are like, man, I wish they'd come check their rooms at
I
home.
guarantee their
Guarantee
lockers
it.
are cleaner than
Than their
rooms. are.
rooms,
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, my kids are like that too. Their desk is nice and neat at school and lockers, but as soon as you get home, it's a totally different story.
And it's impossible
my
with any
fault for not
kids.
making
It's impossible. But if we didn't, it'd be chaos. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how you wouldn't.
Well, they'd get everything lost too.
Well, and that's another thing is I'll tell them too. I'll tell them, I'm cleaning out the locker room this weekend. If you leave it on the floor, it's going in the garbage. You know, I'm not your
Yeah.
mom. I'm not your maid. I'm not picking up your stuff and I don't know whose is what.
Yeah.
So they have a pretty good clue of what's going to happen
Yeah.
if they
I
don't.
can't believe we've never talked about that.
Yeah, it's-
Bathroom etiquette.
Bathrooms. See what happens when I come around?
It's my most fun job.
Yeah.
And then we wash all their jerseys and pants and stuff. Our staff takes care of that on the weekends, so we
Right.
send that home so we know it's all. We have special disinfectant soap and
Right.
everything. I mean, we do everything we can. Within our-
Okay,
with our
so
means.
all the parents that are watching, grandparents are watching, your family watching, we got to throw in some kids' names, okay? So let's give some shout outs. Who did we talk about? Did we talk about Hunter Richardson with that play?
Oh, the fumble recovery.
Yeah.
Hunter's fumble recovery. was-
Yeah, and Evan Campbell with the other
With the
interception.
interception, yep.
So who else on defense do we need to really give a big shout out?
Well, we talked about David Williams and his hits, and Sean Des Goodlow and some of the blocks and some of the plays he's making defensively.
He actually has set a school record this year for the longest
Longest
interception for a
interception.
touchdown.
Yeah.
It was
Really?
96?
96 yards.
96-yard interception return for a touchdown against Western Hills. It was a school record.
Yeah.
Carter Smith is leading tackler.
Tackler.
You know, one of the things that I think he does a great job with. You talked about personnel earlier. We move guys around for advantages. And there was an advantage with putting Carter on the edge, kind of almost a DN a little bit this week. And he had a couple of huge tackles off the edge for us because it was a mismatch situation.
Yep.
And you can get those pretty easily with him. You know, there's probably some people that sit there and watch the games and go, why isn't that kid always in the middle? Well,
Yeah.
because bringing him off the edge sometimes is a major mismatch in the right situation based on a tendency.
Yep.
And he had a huge play off the edge the other night. So
I mean, he was big time.
Justice
another play
Williams
worked.
Justice Williams is a name, and Nick Reed are two
Yeah.
names you're
Yeah.
not going to hear much, but man, they do their jobs inside.
Oh yeah, when you've got two defensive tackles with over 20 tackles for the season, that's
They're making
production.
plays.
Yeah.
That's
I have
production.
Justice on offense, so he plays both ways.
He plays.
Yes.
Him and Carter are the two that rarely leave the field.
Yep.
I can't
And
imagine
Dez.
playing a
Those
game,
three.
the entire game, both ways. I just can't imagine.
Those three rarely.
And that's why
On the
it's
field.
it's so big for us to have that depth defensively because we
Yes.
can rotate him on defense,
Mm-hmm.
but he isn't staying out very long.
Yeah.
So, but we can spell him on
Playmaker.
defense some.
Right.
So.
Well, let's talk about some offensive guys. We just talked about Justice. Let's talk about Zach Howard.
Zach Howard, Zach and Levi, the twins, love them. Hard-nosed football players. Zach had a nice 25-yard catch this week.
Yes.
He keeps getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
He's extremely coachable. He does exactly what he's taught to do and when he's taught to do it. He's a technician, and you always get nothing but effort out of him. Those two keep finding their way, Zach and Levi both, more and more on the field.
Mm-hmm. We talked about a little bit about Nate Eads. We talk about him
Nate's-
every week.
Nate played a full game this week, which was exciting to see. You know, his cramps, I think, are in the past. Knock on wood with that again, too.
And
But
with the weather change.
He played a lot on defense.
He played a lot on defense, and he'll continue to play more on offense as we know that he can play a full game. He's a
yeah.
good ball carrier.
So he's
too,
happy
good
it's
blocker.
cooler outside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The humidity gone.
AJ ran the ball.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
He's my next person.
Get big plays out of him again. That's what we've needed out of him. He had a touchdown. He had a big run.
He had the best game of the
He
season.
really did, and
Yeah.
we've been waiting for that. And I just think I think he's a kid that AJ needs 10 to 15 carries a game to get those yards, and he's going to get them, and we're getting him in space a little better. And then Carter, I think, had 3 touchdowns, 1 receiving, 2 rushing. He is our leading rusher on the season. He's our leading carrier. He's our leading tackler, our leading rusher, our leading ball carrier.
Yeah.
He punts.
Our leading punter.
He's our leading punter. He's our leading kickoff guy. He's our leading onside kick guy.
Are you kidding?
Well, he
Man,
does,
he does it all.
Well, I know he does it,
does
but
He does everything. He's a great football player.
Yeah.
And I think people, I don't think people forget
is
that.
he a junior?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
He's been doing this since his freshman year. So I think everybody just kind of like, oh, it's Carter Smith again.
Yeah.
Because he's been doing this like
So long.
I feel like since I was like here.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the team was like without Carter.
Before Carter.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be your next T-shirt after Carter or something.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah,
Not
you
yet.
got another year.
No, let's not do that yet.
Yeah, you want to keep him.
Oh, yeah.
You want to keep him around.
Absolutely.
Zeke Benton. Let's talk about him. He had that big touchdown last game.
Yeah, he's
So
playing
this
well.
game,
He had
31 yards, 2 carries.
Yeah, he does good things. We're not asking him to do a ton because he's a young guy still. He's
Yes.
sophomore.
Yeah,
He's
he's only a
playing both
sophomore.
ways.
Yeah.
He rotates at safety, and when you got a young guy playing both ways, that says a lot about the kind
His
of kid he
ability.
is
Yeah.
and his ability.
He's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Did
He's
we talk
extremely
about your
explosive.
quarterback yet? Did we throw in Stacy?
Just a guy named Landon Stacy.
Yeah, just a guy.
Just another guy.
He's only throwing almost 65% completion on the year. He's thrown for over 675 yards. He's
Is he our second leading rusher?
he's our second leading rusher, I think. He's either our second or third leading
You're not
rusher.
supposed to know the offensive stats.
He's almost rushed for 300 yards
Yeah.
this year.
Why do I have a feeling you know all the stats?
He's
Offense,
You always
defense.
know. You always got to know the.
I don't know how y'all memorize it all.
Oh, but Landon's playing outstanding, and again, he's got 7 touchdowns and 2 picks, and one of his picks is my fault. Terrible call right before the half against Lincoln. That goes back to game 1. Take that away. He's 7 TDs, 1 pick, 65% completion percentage and above. He's protecting the football and doing great. And
Yes.
he's dishing it to other guys.
Making
in the
great
option
decisions.
game, he's making reads. He's doing smart things with the ball.
Does he ever come in off the field and go, "Why'd you make me do that, Coach"?
Oh, no.
No.
Landon is extremely competitive.
Oh yeah.
He wants the ball. He wants to win.
No, I mean when you make a call and he doesn't like
Oh, no.
like it doesn't go the way it's planned, and
No,
he's like,
no, he'll come off the sideline after every series and go, "What do we need to fix? What happened on the series?
Why didn't
what
that
do I need
work?"
to fix? What do I need to do?"
He's not complaining.
He,
No.
He's sitting there in the middle of the play one day, the other night doing this, and I can't tell what he's asking me, and he's asking me, "Did my feet look good on that play?" Because that's been a focus on that play.
Yeah.
He wanted to know right after the play, were my feet right? They felt good.
And
my
you were
feet
like,
right?
"What is
Yeah, and I'm like,
this?"
"What are you doing?" Like,
Because that's
I don't know-
not a
I
new
don't know
signal.
what this means. and I look at Jordan Castillo, who's next to me. He's our backup quarterback that helps with the calls, and he goes, he wants to know if his feet were right. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm watching the blocking scheme. But like, that's the kind of kid he is.
Yeah, he
He'd
wants.
fix it next play if he had to.
Yeah.
But what's really cool about him and what makes him a great quarterback, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that he's always level.
Yeah.
He never gets real high, he never gets real low, he stays level, and the team feeds off of that.
Yeah.
When your quarterback is level, the rest of your team feeds off of that.
That is true, isn't
It
it?
is.
He was a pretty good
Absolutely.
outside linebacker last year.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Tell me this: you've got some not interns. What do you call them? Exchange students. Sorry, I
Yeah.
lost it. How is that going?
Great.
They're learning our American football.
Justice has 24 points on extra points this year.
Is it exciting to have them a new dimension to the team? I mean,
The best is watching his reaction after he makes one and runs off the field.
He gets so excited.
yeah, he's like,
He gives the fist pump to the crowd, and it's awesome.
and that feeds them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard one of the students tell him today in my weights class how they love watching him come off the field. Like, it excites them in the student section. And then Magnus Stensby, he's from Norway. Justice
Yes,
from-
that's
from
the gentleman I
Germany.
met, I think.
Yeah, Magnus is great. I mean, he's doing really well. He's getting better. He's playing some special teams. I'll be honest, when you have an exchange student come over, you don't expect him to help at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge difference. They've been great.
Good.
They've been great. I try to learn a German word a week. We have the word of the
Yeah.
week. I try to always ask him like a phrase. I can never remember him. He taught me how to say, "I want pancakes" the other day, and I don't remember what it was.
Maybe you could have one of his words and you could teach it to your guys and
That's a
say,
good
this is
idea.
what we're going to learn this week.
a
Some
good
encouragement to help out our,
We call
teamwork.
Magnus's nickname is the Viking
Yep.
Okay.
because he's from Norway. But he doesn't eat fish, which is amazing. He's Scandinavian and doesn't
Right.
eat fish.
Yeah.
So all the other exchange students give him a hard time about that
Yeah.
in my class.
We could probably do a whole show just on nicknames.
Oh, that's a whole other
Team,
conversation.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It could be a whole show on nicknames.
That'll be your show.
Nah, we probably
Gotta pass that back to
skip
him.
that one.
Okay, so we're about out of time, but we want to say Woodford County this Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts before we go?
They're offensively they're going to have some weapons, and we've got to find a way to neutralize them and take what they want to do away from them. And I think the kids are dialed in on what they need to take away, and I feel really good about how they're going to respond to what they're going to see. But don't take anything for granted, because Woodford County, with those athletes out there, can make a ball game out of anything if you take them lightly. So the kids understand that, and we're dialed in for that.
They gave Anderson a handful.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 10-7. It was a defensive battle. Their defense, they're unpredictable. They move around. They blitz on you a lot. It's a lot of stuff to pick up and be account for. And they've got good athletes. They play man coverage behind that some, and we've got to be sound.
Yeah.
We got to take care of business. You worry about a team like this because of their record.
They're 3-4.
You worry a team's going to take them lightly. But I think after our kids saw the Anderson game, and I think our kids realize they've got some guys.
Yeah.
So.
Don't ever take it for granted.
Exactly.
Right.
No, not at
Well,
all.
it's been a lot of fun. You got to come more often.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome anytime. It may be his show, but you can come anytime.
Easy. No, just kidding.
Do you bring food? Sometimes he brings us drinks or like coffees or.
You gotta remember now. I got an 11-year-old at home and an 8-year-old at home,
I
and
know,
both of
you're
them
not
are
bringing any
monsters. And I don't even have food for me at home.
He stops and gets it. Actually, no, he brought us cupcakes from home one time. That was really nice.
That was my wife's doing.
Yeah.
What are those for the coaches meeting?
My wife's doing. She wanted me to bring them here. They were good.
Late, he forgot about it.
No, we bought those for a fundraiser. That's what that was. Those were
And he was
fundraiser
late.
cakes.
We go to meetings every Sunday, and he's never brought food, not once.
No, that's not true. I ordered Cracker Barrel that one time.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, I gotta
There
give
you
you credit for
go.
that.
Everybody loves
That
them
might have
some
been a gift
Cracker
card
Barrel.
from
From
somebody
family or
that helps
somebody
It
that
is-
he
it-
I
used.
took care of that.
You took care of it for us.
Love it, love
I'm
it,
sorry,
love it.
I forgot about that.
Thank you.
All right. Coach Clark, Coach Kling, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank
Good
you.
luck against Woodford County.
Thank you.
We're going to be following you guys, and it's always a lot of fun. And then we're really going to look forward to the next game.
And I appreciate it. I wanted to cash in on the opportunity to make a bank.
Oh, I was hoping we would
And
get
cash
through
in
one
on,
show.
Cash in on Coach Kling being here today.
He always does this. He gets in some bank jokes.
Oh, yeah.
He does it. All right. On that note, I'm Samantha Burford. Thank you for watching, and go watch them this Friday night. It'll be a lot of fun.
Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet, ExpressRoofing.net, Cumberland Valley National Bank, CSEP, State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble Agent, Luxury Pet Services, Equipment, Sales and Rentals, May Marketing, KYMedia.net, Real Life Community Church, Time Warner Cable, and Madison County Schools.